What's up, guys? Today is a very special episode because not only do I have a very wonderful sponsor, but I also have a guest you might be familiar with. If you want to find out who it is, you got to stick around. You're tuned in to Smoking Revelry. Hello, hello, hello. As I said before, you are tuned in to Smoke and Revelry, which is sponsored by Pariah Cigars and Casa Cueva Cigars. From our casa to yours. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see, I am not by myself, and this is the only time Tim will ever be taller than me because he's sitting in the high chair.
Not that kind of high chair.
It's just higher.
I'm not eating baby food or anything.
But I'm going to treat him like a baby.
Although I did see your Cheerios when I came out here.
Hey, they were Honey Nut Cheerios. They're gluten-free.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying. We both
At
found
least I wasn't
Cheerios
like,
in their high chairs.
At least I wasn't like, eating them by hand. But anyways, I digress. Tim's here. Cigar Show, Tim Long, everyone.
What's up?
Now, for those of you who haven't been around this entire time, which, if you're just now tuning in, I have known this guy for how long, Tim?
Too long.
Too long. And by too long, I mean by about 22 years now, which is nuts.
Something like that.
But yeah, once upon a time, this channel used to be called Dads Smoking Cigars. And in the very beginning of that, this guy was my co-host. And we hung out every single week and we smoked cigars. And for a while, it was just us hanging out on each other's patios, garages, and all that kind of stuff before the YouTube channel was conceived.
Yep.
And yeah, after that, every single Monday, I'd go over to this guy's house, live down the street from me. We would record a video and usually just cigar reviews or whatever the hell else we decided to talk about.
Whiskey Wednesday, Fresh Review Friday is what we called it.
Yep, exactly. So it is it has been a kind of a full circle moment. We've been talking about it for a little bit here and there just because life is busy, things happen, and we got all that ridiculous adulting bull crap that we got to do on a day-to-day basis. And so it's very nice when we can actually, do stuff like this. So, but yeah, this is the first time in a bit. Truth be told, in full transparency, Tim and I attempted to do this a couple weeks ago. It did not work out.
Nay.
It did not work out at all. Technical difficulties out the ass. Like, I don't even want to get into it, but it didn't work out. So we basically scrapped that one and said, okay, we're going to have to do a do-over. And we're actually very grateful that we did for a number of reasons. But one of those very special reasons we'll tell you in the middle of the video. But this is a very special episode nonetheless, because Tim and I are going to go back in time. And
you have a flux capacitor?
No, I guess it's my own version of the Wayback Machine, which is our old YouTube videos.
And the YouTube hot tub.
Yes, the YouTube hot tub time machine. We're gonna go back, and we're gonna hand pick a couple of videos because I mean, let's face it, we could watch so many of our videos and probably say a lot.
We did together.
We did
probably close to 100.
Probably close to 100 if I had to guess, although. Maybe less than that, because I think at this point in time, this channel only has like a little over 250 videos. So not a crap ton of videos. I would love to make more videos, but unfortunately I don't have the time. But yeah, we did probably just shy of 100 videos in our time as co-hosts together. And then
so it was about a year and a half?
About a year, a little around a year, right around a year, because pretty much right around the year mark of the channel being in existence was
the great blip,
was when the pandemic came and screwed everything up. And we just it was obviously we couldn't hang out with each other and record together, so we would record remotely. And then without getting too deep into it, because it really isn't that deep to begin with, we just felt that we were being pulled in different directions. Tim and I had, different visions and creative ideas, and we had a long phone conversation and both amicably
that was
agreed.
easy.
Agreed that we were going to do our own thing. And, it worked out pretty well because Tim's got his channel. It's doing really well. I've got my channel, which is, a bit of a slow growth. But at the same time, I just, tore through 1,000 subscribers finally.
Yep, you had a big milestone.
Yes, a wonderful milestone. And there's a lot of really cool and exciting things coming that I'm very much looking forward to. Can't wait to share with you guys. And I know Tim's always got something going on with his channel that, he gets to smoke some really great cigars. I get to smoke some really great cigars, and it's always fun sharing with you guys. So,
yeah.
But, we decided, for better, for worse, probably against our better judgment in general, that we were going to check out our old stuff and see how it holds up. And if I had to guess, it probably didn't age very well.
Neither did we.
I mean, I would say we aged a little bit better than the videos, just a little bit.
We're just as corny.
Just as corny, but we
do know more about cigars now, though.
We do know more about cigars, and we also know how to shorten and tighten up the exposition a little bit.
There you go.
So, but you're still going to hear plenty from us, and now is the time where we decide how hard we want to cringe. So
buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Get ready. You definitely want to get a drink for this, probably more than one. But
double fist it.
Double fist it. Yeah.
Yep. With butter whiskey and bourbon.
Grab a drink, have an edible. I don't care, but we're going to go ahead and check out some of our old stuff and see how well or poorly this goes.
Tonight, we're going to be playing a game of tic-tac-toe where X's and O's
oil can
both win.
No CATS game being played here.
I honestly hated that I said that.
1502 XO.
It was a bit cringeworthy.
Yeah, you're the one who suggested that.
You did it.
I did. It's my better judgment. I did it. There's the old-ass intro.
Yeah, right.
What's up, guys? You're watching Dads Smoking Cigars. I'm Kyle. This is Tim, and thanks for joining us.
In case you didn't catch that at the beginning,
I did the total like Al Borland nod.
Explanation because if you've been paying attention,
I don't think so, Tim.
You know that one of our favorite brands, and I would actually say it's probably my favorite brand. I don't think I could speak.
It has actually been a good while since I have had a 1502 cigar.
So I will say that.
So there you go.
Yeah, they're good cigars.
Very good cigars.
We both
I had the Blue Sapphire back.
We both love the people.
Maybe 6-8 months ago.
Just love
it's still so good.
Passion that goes into the making of these cigars.
I need to hit up
we're talking about
Enrique.
1502. And tonight we're going to be smoking the cream of the crop, the top shelf cigar.
It really was.
From that line, XO. A little bit of information about this cigar is obviously, as it says on the band, this tobacco's been aged for 18 years.
Now, it is legal.
Yes,
that was stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to refrain from commenting.
And I can only imagine what the experience is going to be like.
Amazing.
Yes, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things. Tim's heard nothing but good things.
Yes.
So with that,
the background here wasn't painted yet.
Jaw jacking.
There were no walls.
So bright.
Tell you where.
So bright. We had microphones that we
light this bad boy.
You could hear us, but they definitely weren't quality yet, like we have now.
Honestly, just we worked with what we had, and it was good for the time. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Different things.
Yeah. I believe this was
hey guys,
intro number 2
with Dads Smoking Cigars.
It was.
We really hope you enjoy this newest episode of Fresh Review Friday. So sit back, grab a cigar, and enjoy.
We will.
So, just as an little quick, PSA. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Way more.
Sometimes it was disturbing how much we were on each other's wavelength, and this thing is squeaky as all.
After me,
yeah, we definitely finished each other's sentences more times than we can count.
What we were trying to do, just stick around to the wait for the bloopers at the end, because Dad really messed up.
And the bloopers are many.
Bloopers are plenty.
Many.
But anyways, welcome to another.
I had briefly forgotten about the Dad messed up segments.
Presented by Costa Cueva Cigars. This week, we're going to be reviewing.
I'm ready to do something like that. Bring it back
at the Pacific Cigar Show.
Just
the
different
final
name.
vendor we have lined up. Yes, exactly. The final vendor.
Yes.
And
So
that
the
is,
Pacific Cigar Show
Big
died
Sky.
when
This week, what are
the
we
great
reviewing,
blip
Tim?
known
This
as
is the
COVID
Big Sky Cigar
happened.
COVID killed the Pacific Cigar Show, unfortunately.
Yes, but I do know that this was a good intro.
This was a good intro.
This was a good intro that
We
we
were
did.
commenting on that earlier. This was the best.
And then
This was the best intro of our time together during Dads Smoking Cigars.
Lewis Cuevas. Pacific Cigar Show. There you go. But yes, there were a couple cigar brands that were excited to have the events, and still actually talked about it when they introduced me to a couple other people at trade shows. So it would have been fun.
But out of Montana,
it's good.
and they are bringing
Hadn't been
cigars
for COVID, it probably
back to
would have been a
Montana.
sure
That's
thing.
sort of one of the things that they're big on. But they're huge on the outdoors, and so
Great outdoors.
Yes, you
by the
were.
way.
And so the makeup
wouldn't
of
know a
this
good time if
actually
it fell out of the sky,
pretty
landed on
simple.
your
The way
face,
that
and
it's
started to
explained
wiggle.
Is that it is a Maduro leaf wrapper encasing long filler from Esteli, Nicaragua. And so that is really all the makeup information that we have on it.
We don't know if it's a Puro, if it's strictly all from Esteli.
We don't know
or strictly
nothing.
all from Nicaragua. I mean, if it is.
But it leads us to believe that the Maduro wrapper beautifully encases the binder and long filler from the volcanic region of Esteli, Nicaragua. So that's what we're going to say it's from Nicaragua.
Still
I won't say it's a Puro,
my
but it
favorite
does sound
tobacco,
like
no
it is.
matter what region.
But of course, we gotta try
Nicaraguan
it out
tobacco
with a cut
always
and a
makes a
light.
great
So
cigar.
a nice,
Yep.
dark, oily wrapper.
Very,
Makes a good cigar
I like
better.
The look
Yep.
of it. Looks beautiful.
This Bighorn is a really
It
good
kind of
cigar.
looks like a giant Tootsie Roll.
It kind of does, and
Tootsie Roll.
it almost smells like.
Tootsie Roll.
I get pure leather on the side of the cigar.
I get leather and cocoa, like sweet cocoa.
Here comes the
A
word.
little bit of cocoa, but it was
And
literally
some
like I
coffee.
put my nose in my leather jacket.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Just that
cacao.
rich, grainy leather.
Cacao.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also got that same kind of texture to it. Like
Sounds like a sound effect when you say
a
it.
little bit of
Yep.
that. You have those leather jackets that are a
Like
little bit rough.
Lightning McQueen.
Mhm.
Ka-chow.
Yeah, not at all smooth or soft or anything like that.
Yep.
It's kind of got that same.
So as you can tell, we
It does.
liked
I'm
to
gonna borrow
talk
your cutter.
and
Since we've got a torpedo.
interact
And
and
as always, guys, you
jaw
know
jack.
that we cut and light everything.
And make it sound like we knew what we were
Accessories
talking
here at Dads
about.
Smoking Cigars.
Didn't know anything.
The exclusive.
we knew very little
cigar
compared to what we know
accessory.
now. Let's be
We
real.
still don't know much, to be honest.
There you go, sir.
We know quite a bit more, but yes.
That's good.
Because normally when I do the dry draw,
Oh, and I totally would have.
I actually do not do dry draw that much anymore.
Rich cocoa.
very rich cocoa,
Cocoa.
Here's where it
a
comes.
little bit of a hint of the kind of dried fruit, dates or raisins
No,
and stuff
no.
like that.
I thought you
I
said
always
this
get
one.
that, but
Maybe
definitely a lot more cocoa.
It's been a
in the
while.
dry
I
draw.
can't even remember.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I do the cold draw when I'm doing
No,
my
we're talking.
videos, only because I'm just
Get to that.
so used to it, I guess.
Should I sing
Don't-
about toasting the
don't-
fruit?
I love this one.
Don't.
I won't sing about toasting the fruit.
Instead, he's going to talk like one of those meditative people on that app.
I'm in the studio.
Calm app, which I have now,
I'm
actually.
toasting. I'm in the studio.
And I'm toasting.
Wow.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
You're
We
welcome.
had to insert that elf reference.
Yes, I am welcome, and you're welcome too.
Singing in front of people is the same as talking. There's no difference.
What's up, everybody? Welcome
That's
to the
good.
newest episode of Fresh Review Friday. We are the Dads Smoking
All right.
Cigars, and this week,
All
we're
right,
gonna
now
be
we have
covering
got the
a cigar from a
Artisanal Del
boutique
Tobacco, and
manufacturer,
we both noticed right away
that
when we saw
actually is
this.
now
the
recently
black
been announced
background,
that they are going to
the
be
better lighting,
distributed
much
by
better
AJ
lighting.
We
Fernandez.
can hear us much
So
better.
the
We're
cigar
clear.
of choice
We
this
were
week
starting
is
to
finally
get into a groove.
We were
the
coming
Viva
into our own.
Oro.
Yes.
Let's check it out.
And this was such a good cigar that,
Oh,
if
man.
I'm not mistaken, this was sent to us by Linda Baird.
This was sent to us by Linda Baird, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fresh Review Friday. This
you.
one has been a long time coming,
Yes.
and that is no exaggeration.
No.
We are going to be reviewing one of the most.
I was chomping
I mean,
at the bit for this.
I mean, it's
cigar
just
for
a
the
brand that
longest
is
time,
taken
just because it
off
wasn't.
like crazy. It is a
And
boutique
I don't
brand,
think it.
and
You
so
can't really
far,
find
it's
it
just
that
this
much
one
here in
cigar by
California.
the company
If I'm not
Artisanal Del
mistaken,
Tobacco.
It's not as
that they
widely
produce.
available here as it is in
It
other
was
places.
blended by
Yeah,
AJ
they used to be
Fernandez. Now it's
distributed
going to be
by,
distributed by AJ Fernandez.
AJ
And
Fernandez.
of course, we're talking about
And they're not any longer.
Pretty sure you can actually
Tim
find
and I are gonna be
Artisanal
smoking
Tobacco,
the,
Artisanal Del
Toro
Tobacco
Vitola.
cigars
And,
at
I just-
La Biblioteca.
I'm amazed.
Pretty
I remember when I
sure.
Oh,
first
on a
heard
Carrizo?
about,
The on a
Viva
Carrizo,
La
yeah.
Vida. I was
Nice.
just like, oh, that's interesting. I like the
Mhm.
band. Looks kind of cool. But
Cool Court Jester Band. Really
exactly. Very cool artwork.
And there it is.
Very well done. But it just blew up. And for the longest time,
'Cause
Tim
it
and
was
I
so
were like,
good.
okay, we need to get some.
I
we
was
need to try 'em.
I was
Tim has
very
already had
impressed
one.
with just how
torpedo.
popular,
Yes.
how quickly
I
it
finally got
became
my hands
popular.
on some recently. I was going to try and have
got to
a
shout out
solo
Steve
smoke
for that
session,
ashtray, the
but
Pacific
I couldn't
Cigar Show
get around
ashtray.
to it. I
Absolutely.
didn't want to smoke it in a lounge. I wanted to
I
smoke
really
it on my
need
own,
to
nice,
catch up with that
quiet,
guy. I
and
haven't
really
spoken to
enjoy
him
it.
in a dog.
I only just wanted to try it.
I just said, screw it. We are doing this. We're doing it
And
tonight.
Billy and Gus are two of the
And,
nicest
yeah,
guys
I
in the
think kind of as a
industry.
celebration
Literally.
of
And
the
they're
fact
very
that
supportive
finally getting
of
distributed
cigar
by
media
Andy
people.
Fernandez,
Oh,
which is gonna
and
make
they
it
will
much more
acknowledge, and they've said it in
available to a
interviews
lot of
with me and
people.
with many others.
It was only
that,
available
and
at
probably
so
talking
many
with you,
places, and you
we saw 'em at
couldn't even-
TPE
we
when
can't
you were
get it
there,
in California,
that
but now
they
it looks like
recognize
that's
that
going to be changing
they only
because,
exist
yes,
because the media will talk
Angela
about
Yu
them.
down,
Yeah, so they're
at
very
Fort
appreciative
Puffer
because they
actually has been
recognize that
awesome.
it's not
Angela
them
Yu,
that
who
is doing a lot
owns
of
Lord
the
Puffer.
work.
She
It is the
runs
media
the,
and
Fuente
them
event.
combined.
The
And
Fuente
kind of
Festival,
a,
which we
you know,
attended
a
not too
small
long
thing
ago.
for some
Yep.
people, but it's a big thing for me.
So
They
that is
like
incredible.
pretty much
We're super
everything I
excited to
post
try
on
them,
both
and
of
I
my
should just
socials.
stop yakking and we should
So-
just cut and light.
Cut and light.
They're good
So
guys.
Look at the
Yep.
wrapper and the band. It's just a little bit toothy, not crazy toothy. There's a little bit of a toothy texture to
You want
it.
to know
It's
something
very
funny?
attractive.
But it's
I don't
still
pay
a
any
little bit
attention to
of an
that
oily band,
anymore. The
too.
toothiness of the
Slightly.
wrapper,
It's got
I
a
could
little
honestly
sheen,
give a
especially
shit.
at the cap.
I don't care
At the
anymore.
cap,
I
No.
remember that was.
sheen has
It's
a
funny when you
little
think about some of the
shine,
details we
kinda,
would
but as you
focus
go
in on the
further down
cigars
the foot,
because we
it's
were
a
so
little bit more
new
muted.
to it.
It's not
Yeah.
as shiny.
I mean, at least new to it in the sense that like we were
Almost
actually starting to
of
pay
like a
attention to what we spoke.
real
'cause
soft rounded.
We found the details we wanted to pick up on.
Well, prior
not
to
quite as,
us
as
doing
much
this, really,
impressed
to
out
us
at the
really
bottom.
getting
It's got
involved in
kind
the
of,
cigar
some flat
community,
edges here.
Mhm.
we
You know,
weren't paying
just
attention to any
admiring
of that.
the
We
look
just
of the
smoked
cigar.
cigars
Really
because it
well
was
done.
something
Oh,
we
yes.
enjoyed
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
which I mean is
Yeah,
what
it
you
looks like
should
it's a
do.
Oh, yeah.
cap on it.
But at the same time, it was just like
We're babbling together.
nothing.
So we're going to cut and light, and
I will say that is one thing we did in a
know
lot of our videos is we talked for a long time before we
finally got to the point.
Cigars.
Yeah.
They are our
the Josh
cutter and
2.0
lighters
V
of
cut.
choice.
Mhm.
So without any
That was
further
a good-
ado,
that was a good
I'm
V
going
cutter.
to
It's a
cut
great cutter.
and light.
Yes, sir. Let's do some dry draw notes.
Yes.
draw.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Chocolate graham
I
cracker
can remember
fruities.
that actually
Yes.
pretty, not vividly, but vividly
a
enough.
bunch of like the dried fruit, like dates
Oh,
and
yeah.
raisins.
I was just
right
gonna
off
say
the
dates.
bat.
It's a very distinct cigar. It had its own personality. I think that's the best way to describe it. Now, I'm not saying that other cigars that we smoke, including the ones we're
And the
currently
drop's not
smoking,
super tight on
don't.
it.
No,
But
not at all.
every now and then there's that one cigar that kind of hits you
As you guys know, of course,
pretty much
our
broadside,
Virgo
and I do
lighters
believe the
is
Viva
all
La
we
Vida
use.
was one of those.
And we love them
Yeah.
because
It
they
very
work.
much, yeah, it punched you square in the face in the best way possible.
Yeah, and they've got their own unique, flavor note and all of that. And with AJ doing the blending, there is a bit of AJ's sort of fingerprint on it.
Yeah,
With how he blends and has done the stuff for them and sourcing tobacco.
Oh,
And their new
yeah.
5-year anniversary stuff, the Club 500 and the Jester 5-year are phenomenal.
woody,
I
earthy.
what did I have?
Yep.
I had the El Pulpo not too
Okay.
long ago.
Great
Yeah,
cigar.
I'm
Very
getting
good
a lot
cigar.
of that-
It's a good, strong
that very
cigar.
woody.
I
kind
still
of-
need to
I'm
try
definitely
the,
getting a little
the
bit of
Jester
cedar
and
there.
the Club 500. I have
Mhm.
not. I have not tried that.
Everything.
Once
Tim just
again,
said.
I am lagging
and
when
not
it
even
comes
because
to
'cause you know how
to
you get when
Artisanal
you
del
hear somebody
Tobacco.
mention
So
flavor notes.
Oh yeah.
I need
You
to,
go,
I,
you
I
think,
need to
oh,
get
yeah,
my
I'm
shit
getting that.
together.
Tim wouldn't have had to say that, and I honestly would have gotten the same thing.
Well, it's interesting that you picked up cedar because I went straight to
I don't even
oaky.
remember what you just
But
said.
there is a lighter.
I don't know. Are we talking
Oh,
about
earthy woodiness.
We're talking over ourselves, Tim. I never thought that was something I'd ever say.
All right, guys.
Yeah, right.
We have
We're
cut,
talking over
we have
ourselves.
lit. We have given our initial thoughts. We're going to jot them down in our Dad Cigar Journal.
Oh,
and we're
God,
going to
I
come to
forgot
you
about
at the
that
end
cigar
of the
journal.
first third.
I actually found mine
Seems like
about 6 months ago in the garage.
I think I might have actually thrown mine.
What's up, guys? It's time for another episode of
Sorry.
Who Blew Up Dad's Mailbox.
Oh, God. Yes.
Side note, do you retro, bro? New shirt?
Oh, it's just
Shop,
Tim.
Dad's Smoking Cigars.
Oh,
Just Tim.
And I was just doing the
Let's take a look
mustache and
today
goatee thing
at
there.
Who blew
Didn't
up
have
our
the beard
mailbox.
going.
Now I
I
know
just
it's
now
in
realized
the
that.
box because I know who
Yeah.
sent it to us, and I am excited because what is in here is not just for us. It is going to be shared with some of our fellow cigar influencers and reviewers, and well, frankly, I don't want to tell you who else is getting this. So let's
I
take
don't
a
even
look
remember what was in the
inside
box.
and
I don't either.
see what came.
Shout out to cigar mechanic
today.
Brandon Wells.
If it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset.
So we've got packing peanuts, and
And
get
more.
your peanuts,
Yeah.
get your popcorn, get your Cracker Jacks.
Dude,
I
why?
don't know why I did that. I mean,
See, even you didn't know why.
So
I did a lot of things I didn't understand.
making it rain peanuts.
Oh, man.
That didn't sound right.
Yeah, that made a mess. So let's take a look inside
Thanks,
here.
Captain Obvious.
That's
what
what she
we've got.
said.
Yep.
We've got cigars that were sent to us by a boutique brand that is up and coming.
Probably not anymore.
And
Yeah, right.
Probably.
what
they
we've got here
solidified. Dude, you're taking
is
forever. Oh,
Regina
Yep.
Cigars
we were literally just talking about them.
Yeah.
sampler pack. So we are going to be trying these out.
And these were all
pretty
themed
soon. As
based
you can
on
see, they were
Catholic
absolutely
the
great
caste system and their belief and all
Catholic
of that.
iconography and
Tons of
symbology. All right, guys, we want to take a little time to let you know about the sponsor of this episode, and that sponsor is
Founder Cigar.
Founder Cigars. Now, you guys might be familiar with this brand, and they are another wonderful boutique brand. They've only been around for about 3 or 4 years now. They got started during the pandemic. They are veteran owned, and they're a great bunch of guys, and they're all about basically building and starting new cigar communities and just staying connected with people. And they got a really great history, which Tim will tell you all about.
Yeah, so Founder Cigars, I've been fortunate enough to know them really since their inception. I think it was 2021 when Angelo Fraboni, who's one of the co-founders of Founders, yes, that sounds redundant, but it's factual.
True to form, Tim. True to form.
Absolutely. But they reached out to me on social media, and we just got to talking and different things. I checked out their original blends and all of that. They only had, I believe it was 4 blends at the time, and here's what they are today.
Yep.
We have the Signature Dual Wrap, which is a barber pole. It's a Maduro, Connecticut barber pole.
Which is delicious.
Yes, they have a Connecticut, they have a Candela, they have an Habano, and they have a Maduro. And they're actually all rolled at the Las Lavas Tabacalera, which is the Casa Cuevas factory down in the Dominican Republic. I was very fortunate enough to get to know these guys early on in what they were doing in coming in and really just tricking people into having community. During COVID, they would... and
King, I like how you said that.
that's exactly how they'll tell you, too. Veteran owned, so Brian Schmidt-Deal is an Air Force reservist now, and the two of them during COVID would sit down and have cigars with their buddies. They would socially distance, and they would have cigars, and they realized that cigars was building community during the pandemic, during the loneliness, during all those different times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is pretty obvious and goes without saying that the imagery and the symbolism that they use goes all the way back to our founding fathers, hence the name Founders.
Yes.
A lot of, true and proud patriotism in these cigars. And everything from the image of Theodore Roosevelt to Frederick Douglass, and not to mention George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and all of that.
And Thomas Jefferson.
And Thomas Jefferson. So it's a really great brand, and we want to say a very special thank you to the gentlemen at Founders who were kind enough to sponsor this episode. Great guys. If you have not tried Founder Cigars, or if you're like me, you haven't had Founder Cigars since they first started, they have, as Tim said, they are now rolled and blended over at the factory where Casa Cuevas rolls their cigars.
Mm-hmm.
So you might notice some subtle differences in their cigars nowadays, like I did when I started trying them again. So
yeah, they're really good.
Absolutely.
And they took a step up going to the Cuevas factory, quality tobacco, a number of different things. And being able to see the difference and be enough in the know with the guys that are running Founders during that process and sample things and give my input was a lot of fun. But what they have now is just really, really good compared to what they had. And in my opinion, they've got one of the better Candelas that's out there on the market.
Absolutely. So definitely check out Founders if you haven't already. Go pick up some of their cigars. We'll leave some links in the description below.
July 13th, 2018, Tim and I decided to hang out like a number of times, where we just decided to chill. And this time, like a number of times before that, we decided to smoke some cigars and drink some whiskey.
Little did we know that it was going to turn into something that you guys would jump on board with us as a journey of enjoying cigars. And
Jump on board.
Kyle and I couldn't be more honored, humbled, and in love with the community that we've become part of.
We love you.
And
we love you.
We here just wanted to take one special episode and celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Like Kyle mentioned the date, it was July of last year.
Which is now
we
6
sat
years
back on his
gone.
patio and just were ourselves. And that's all that we seek to do here at Dads Smoking Cigars is be ourselves, but review cigars and enjoy being in the community with you guys.
I still got mine
So,
somewhere. I just
sit
can't
back,
remember where it is.
relax,
Mine in
and
the box in
enjoy
the garage.
this
is our first birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yes, and Keith Pace, who wore it religiously.
Oh man, that guy. Love that guy.
We sold quite a few of those hats.
We did.
What's up, guys? You are watching Dads Smoking Cigars.
This is where we forgot to turn on the microphone.
We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Interestingly enough, you can actually hear us a little clearer.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That's
July
nuts.
13, 2018 was when we started. Now, that date has come and gone at the time of this recording. It has
Aw.
passed our 1-year anniversary.
Especially at the time of this
We
watching.
wanted to
Seriously.
record something, and we've actually been talking about this for a while.
Oh gosh.
Torturous
Torturous
ways.
detail. Basically, I'll give them a little bit of backstory. Around the time that
No,
we
not
started
backstory, Kyle. No.
there was a lot of transition
back for the
going
next 10
on
minutes.
in my life in particularly.
You're one to talk.
Rather.
A lot.
And,
Literally.
one of
Yeah,
those
a
things
lot.
was
I
leaving
talk
a
a lot.
job I'd worked for just over a decade as a pool guy. And my wife, being the wonderful woman that she is, loving me as much as she does, even though she doesn't care much for cigars, she decided to buy me some. And I had spotted these cigars in the clearance section.
Red flag number 1.
I still feel so ashamed about this.
We now know why. They are a brand that is no longer in production. That was
We're good
This-
reason.
for good.
This cigar
Every single
was
time.
not at all
That
worth
doesn't
For
take,
good reason.
that doesn't take away at all.
At all.
How true the
as
statement
grateful
is.
as I am that my wife bought them
And,
for me.
They were the brand. Not that it mattered.
And when we
really
first
what
smoked them, we
brand
thought they were
was called.
good.
It anyway, it was a brand called House of Del Mage. It was based in
House of
Tampa,
Del Mage,
Florida.
yes.
And this
Yes.
was
House
their
of Torture.
quote-unquote reserve.
House
They
of-
had a ton of their cigars in reserve since
We
they
will not
went
pay
out of
homage.
business
House of
before
Delulu.
that.
Ha!
And these are machine-made little petite Coronas. They're Maduros, and these ones in particular. Are
At least
called,
that's what they said.
Coronaires.
There you
And
go.
my wife bought me a box of them. There were 55 of them, and it was
Sure.
just under $40.
At first
So it
glance,
was a
it would seem
killer
like a
deal.
good deal,
Deal to the casual observer.
as I just said.
We actually had these on our very first, I don't even know the date. I'm not going to speculate as to when, but not long after we
No
started.
one cares, Kyle.
We smoked these on our very first live stream.
Which was the live that
And
Brandon jumped
I
on,
mean,
wasn't it?
you remember. well enough to
I don't
know
think it
at
was
the
that
time,
one. I think it was like another one we did later.
One of the early ones.
Pretty sure we were
For the
smoking a better
money,
cigar
they
while we were
weren't
talking
bad,
to him.
And then he even said,
No,
if you want
I
even
didn't
better
contact-
cigars,
really
when I'm out in
gotten
California,
into
we'll talk.
cigars
And
way
the rest
back
is history.
then.
And ain't that the
Our
truth?
palates had not developed whatsoever.
We had newborn pallets, and
Yes, we did. We had baby pallets.
We had stupid
and
pallets.
They pretty much.
We didn't
saw
have a
almost
pallet.
endless cigars.
No, we did not.
It was good for the most part.
and we weren't even looking at flavor notes. We weren't looking at construction.
Depot and
We just
Lowe's
thought,
had more
"Here's
pallets
the
than we
cigar,
did."
light it up.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it felt like. I mean, I was getting.
You gotta get
like
one
it.
dad joke.
You like what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at both places, so I would know. He's worked
But
at
anyway,
Lowe's.
as time
Yes,
went on,
you
and Tim and I
would
started
know
to
palate
find the
jokes.
brands that we now love and adore and support and endorse and all
Yes.
those fancy little words there. That basically all the
Adore.
brands we love now,
And
pallets developed.
Takes one to know one.
More
well,
sophisticated. We
you
began
wouldn't
to
expect
use
anything
the
less
flavor
from me.
notes that all y'all were talking about.
We
all the
learned
time.
to retrohale.
We learned to retro heel. Thank
Yeah, we're
you,
talking
Brandon
way too
Wells,
damn
our good
much.
friend, cigar-
Would be a toothy, veiny, Oh, look, it's so well done. The cap's coming off on my finger.
This is where it gets good.
I feel like somebody rolled the cigar like you would roll a burrito at home, like I just did earlier. We had bean and cheese burritos at my house.
It's
for
like the
dinner.
new
White
employee at
people being
Chipotle
cheese
that
burritos,
doesn't know what
if
they're
that
doing.
No.
says anything.
Sorry, Chipotle. I actually love your food.
No, Chipotle's great, but yeah,
I haven't had Chipotle in a long time.
Yes.
Neither have I.
Chipotle.
So,
I can
But
only have
again,
the
these are
burrito bowls
not-
now.
Yeah.
if these were handmade,
It wouldn't matter.
if these were handmade, I think I would actually be a little bit angry. But they're machine made, so I can't really fault.
So they get a pass.
They get a pass, but
No, they don't.
barely.
Yes.
I don't know why I said that. There's no
So we're gonna
pass.
cut
There's no
and we're gonna
forgiveness. There's
these.
no.
We'll see how far we get into them.
This was it.
Quickly, I want to show you
Go leave
guys
on the
what we
cap
have
hanging
here
there.
that was gifted to us
Yes,
by
please.
Blue Collar Sticks. Guy named Steve, fantastic.
If this was a war crime, this company could have been
He
prosecuted by the
sent us,
Geneva Convention.
each a cigar rest with our favorite band, or the band from our favorite cigar. Mine's a 1502 Nicaragua. Kyle has the United Maduro.
Yeah.
I haven't had
They
it
are
yet. I've been doing it
fantastic,
probably about 3 years.
well-made.
Yes,
I mean,
your
they're great
chocolate
little
bar
cigars.
Not
Services.
like these.
No,
Hey.
not like these. And this If
think
you
I
watched
actually
the
have one of the
live
humidor at home.
announcing the giveaway
Somewhere.
for 1 year that we did on YouTube Live, I showed
If you're wondering about the
that
giveaway,
our
it's
Dads
long
Smoking
since
Cigars
passed.
Logo
So
on
it has been
bottom of it,
given
it's got,
away.
Blue Collar Sticks logo.
5 years
And if you
since.
open it up, it
Actually,
is
yeah,
obviously
5
it was a
years.
humidor,
Yes.
a
Six
cigar box.
minus one is
But
5.
now it is a cigar rest.
will be
and
tomorrow
an
also.
ashtray.
Yes.
And
And it
so
was
we
yesterday.
want to make sure that we say
Thought
thank
this
you
out,
to
Tim.
Steve Blue Collar Sticks. Go check him out on
I
Instagram.
can math.
Please do that. And it's metal.
That's
It's
a math-
on,
the
there's
math
wood
ain't
in
math,
there,
man.
The cutouts, little grooves for your
This thing
cigars to
is
rest.
awesome.
We're still talking too much.
For us.
Jeez.
For the Pacific
cute.
Cigar
To the
Show.
point, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
So it's really cool.
Okay, there we go.
The aroma's actually
not
not
bad.
too
I was
bad.
going to say the same thing. It
The
actually smells
aroma's
pretty
not
good.
too bad. So
Yeah, that was the
again,
only good thing that
I'm
came
not
out of this
getting my
cigar.
hopes up.
I am torching the crap out of that foot.
That wrapper's terrible.
Son of a.
I was being dramatic, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was that bad in terms of the filler.
You always end up with filler in
I
your
always, you're right. You're
Always.
That is a tight draw.
Toy. Look at Toyga.
Toy.
This thing is
Your
like.
foot went clear.
Your foot went new.
But you know what's funny is the flavor. It's almost got like a graham cracker taste to it.
That didn't last long at all.
That doesn't.
Notice
mean
I
it's
didn't
good.
comment to support that.
Nope. Did not dignify
It
it
is
with a response.
so
Oh my god!
tightly
Can you
packed.
guys see that? This thing is like. I feel like I just lit a fuse on dynamite.
It's a turd.
This thing's like going.
I lit up a turd.
Crazy, burning fast.
rocket is a
Are
burning.
you actually getting any draw out of that? Oh my gosh!
I'm trying.
The
See,
trauma
I'm
that's
taking
coming
it down
back.
with the binder because this is just insane. I can't even put my mouth around it because the wrapper is coming loose.
That's what she said.
It's like a flaky pastry. It's like a freaking Danish.
I just insulted Danishes
Worldwide.
worldwide.
Very little smoke output. It's almost burning completely
The
horribly.
Del
I
Mage
got
was
more smoke.
garbage. Is what
Out
we're
of
saying.
a
Almost
cigar I
burning
had.
completely horribly.
Very little smoke output.
world where you compare
It's almost burning completely horribly.
I got more smoke out of a recent cigar I had.
It's splitting
Look at it.
I know,
It's
I'm
splitting
dying.
all the way up. Oh, and the taste just got.
Enter
We would like to pay homage to Damage.
By saying your
Like I
cigars
said,
are terrible, and that is the
Del
only
Mage is
brand
garbage.
that we will ever bash because they are no longer in existence.
To this
I
day, the
really
only
hope
cigar
the
brand that
other
I've ever
cigars they put
trashed
out
on.
were- see, I
Literally,
can't
I
get
threw
any
it in the
smoke out of
trash.
You got the quote unquote good one.
On a live video.
on a live video.
That's what you want to call it.
I'm getting nothing. I'm
Like,
getting like some of the
golf
sucking
ball
a-
through a hose.
Yep.
yeah, sucking a golf ball through a garden hose,
And it is so. I mean, you literally can't squeeze the cap.
this thing's rock solid.
There's no
It's
give.
like, oh my gosh, this is the most.
Unlike the cigars we're smoking, which it has just enough give because they're well made.
Oh, how a year
Yes,
changes
they are.
perspective.
Yeah. Tim's actually getting some smoke from it. I'm getting nothing.
oh,
which
that was
is-
pretty good wisp of smoke.
I got bitter.
I remember that one.
Yep.
Yeah. We're going to take a moment to reflect and mourn. And yeah, we'll be back with you guys.
You got-
Questioning
you-
all our life choices up to
you gotta
that
try
point.
so hard that it just burns so quick and gets
Once-
bitter. It's gross.
I'm like,
And it was like
just
so
gonna light
oily
it on
too.
fire.
Like
Dude,
remember
you're
when, like
wasting your butane.
it just like you lit it up and like the oil started coming to the
Sorry.
surface.
I'm
bad
convinced they oiled
cigar
the
etiquette.
wrapper.
But anyways, we'll be back with you guys in a minute.
And we'll
And-
continue with something much better.
Yes, thank you.
Here comes the hilarity.
Oh yeah, here comes the good part.
Why'd you make me do that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I need anything is better than that.
Oh, I'm gonna go drink out of the toilet.
I'm gonna go lick my butt.
I forgot I said that. I'm gonna go lick my butt.
Sorry, guys. That probably wasn't appropriate for you.
We got the right microphone now.
Yeah, right.
Now we have incense, and it's not the good kind either.
I was doing my Chewbacca.
I guess the only way to get any better than that is to try anything.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Now, in all seriousness,
All seriousness, we're never serious.
I mean, Tim and I only point this.
Got a seal in that toxicity.
It's not worthy of us smelling the smoke.
It's still burning, and I don't know why. It just
Sorry,
needs to
Steve,
give
to
up.
what we did to that
Like,
ashtray
yeah,
box.
We
Put
defiled
those
it.
somewhere else, please.
We defiled it.
We have tainted. That was a hell of a christening for that ashtray. I think we owe Steve an
I
apology.
forgot that was the first time we used it.
But again, in all seriousness,
Actually, no, that's the wrong microphone. It's
Tim
the
and
microphone
I
here.
have come a very long way.
Brandon will be so proud of you for saying it that way.
In a very
Tim and I.
short period of
Me
time.
and Tim.
Me and Tim.
And,
Brandon.
just
Me and Tim. Me and Tim. Me and
Considering where we
Tim.
are right now, where we're sitting, we have an HQ. Tim has his beer.
Way better than the dirt stick.
Oh man. But
Actually, even calling them dirt
we wanna pay
sticks is
tribute to
offensive to
somebody
dirt
who
because you
essentially
smoke some
wa- I mean,
cigars
who
and you
really
get
was
like
the first
earth
person
and
to
soil.
ever be kind and generous
This
enough
was friggin'
to
manure.
send us not
That's
just
what it
any
was.
cigars, but his own cigars that he produced.
Cigars by Nicholas J.
Yes.
cigars.
I still have my
man.
last one. I still have the C.
Did it
Oh,
all.
I hate
One
you.
man tobacconist.
I will never
basically.
smoke
There we
it.
go.
I to this day
And-
regret
Yeah,
not
yeah,
allowing him because he offered.
But,
He offered pretty much to send us the rest of his
some of
stock.
you might actually
for the most
remember
part.
him. A number
He says,
of
"I'll send
people
you
who are
boxes,"
friends
and
of
we
ours
felt bad.
still,
We're like, "No, you have to
follow
do
us
that
on
now." I
Instagram,
regret it
actually
because it
had
could
some
probably
of his
still
cigars
have
on how
some
we found out
because
about
they were
him.
so good.
And when we were initially,
Yeah, it was the
kind of
C
putting ourselves
and,
out there saying, "Hey,
I
tell us about
think
your
it was the
brands,
C
we wanna
and
try
the,
them." Not asking for handouts, but saying like, "Hey, where can we find your cigars, or
Yes,
what
what
cigars
was the
should we
other one?
try?"
I think we're about to
You know, we
say.
want to sample as much as we can because we want to promote. That
wanna
was
say it was
how we
like
first
Alma or
got into
something.
the idea of like
Yes,
promoting smaller
the C and the
brands,
Alma
brands
because
that
it was
Yes.
like the
people
initials of his
find
mom and his
things like
dad,
that.
right?
Yes.
And this is boutique through and through, and that
Yes.
was Cigars by Nicholas J.
Squeaky, squeaky,
And
squeak, squeak.
sadly, Nicholas is no longer
In business.
in business. He's no longer producing cigars that we know of. I mean, we haven't heard from him.
I still
We've
have
actually seen
my
him in
last
November,
C.
December
I
last
did not
year
smoke it.
And I
that
kind of
he
hate him.
was going out of business. Tim and I were immensely
used to it.
sad.
It's okay.
When we heard about it, but he had
Hey, I still
two
haven't
cigars
punched
in
him yet.
particular
As
that
you know,
I've threatened to do it over and over again.
that
Yeah,
the
my
only
oldest son actually has asked me, he
put
goes,
out there,
"Dad,
and one was
are you ever going to
called
smoke
the
this?" And
Alma,
I've responded
which
every
was
time, no, because it was the very
introduced to
first
us by
cigar
us.
I was ever sent
Yes.
by somebody else. And I smoked the Alma, the last one that I had, which was the Connecticut.
Yeah,
But the C, that is
and
never
because
going to be
The
smoked.
C
it's
is
a
just
more
it was
mild
a
cigar.
delicious cigar. One of the
In
best
respect
Maduros I had in
out
the
of
earlier
love
days
for
of us.
his mom,
Trying
because
to
she
cigar.
was
What
kind-hearted
do we
and
think?
tender and a little bit more gentle.
I wish I wish I
So
could say,
that is
but
why it
there's no
gave
way we
the
can get our
name,
hands
or
on it. We
was
tried to
given
get
the
in touch with
name, the
Nicholas
because
a
he
few
wanted
times,
to pay
but
tribute.
I think
to
he
no
was
avail.
retreated into his, living his life and whatever he's doing, we hope he's well.
Yep, he kept on moving.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, we're going to be basically doing the same thing we did when we first tried them. Tim is going to be having the Alma. I'm going to be having the C, which was
I
named
really
after
like
his
both of
father.
them. I
His
like the
father's
Alma
initials,
more, though.
hence
I
why
remember
it's
that.
called
Really?
C,
I
and
did.
It's, a dark
The Alma was good. I liked
bodied
the
and
C
stuff like
because
that.
I was, and I still am.
Yes, exactly.
I like me a good
So,
Connecticut every now and then, but I
when we
tend to
had
lean more
these,
towards
we
the
were
medium to
incredibly pleased.
Mhm.
in terms of flavor.
We
and
had
stuff.
been trying a lot of different cigars and things like that. I actually haven't had
I kind of like it when a
either
cigar
of these
knocks me
in
on my
quite a
ass.
while.
I'll be
We've been
honest.
letting them, months.
Hasn't
We've been
happened for a long
letting them
time, but
sit
it's
because we're like,
fun when it does.
these are the
There you
last ones we have. Tim has one more in his humidor. This is my very
There
last.
you go. See, and this is when I
He
smoked
still
the
has it.
Alma.
One more of this.
5 years later,
This
which is
my
nuts.
very last Nicholas J cigar.
I have cigars in
I'm
my
going to
humidor that are
enjoy
definitely
it
5 years
thoroughly.
old or older,
And
but they're nowhere
since
near
it's
as
been so
good
long, I
as
can't quite remember the flavor. I'm
Nicholas
going
J
to
cigars, and
enjoy
they're
the
popular
experience
brands
and being
too.
surprised
Yep.
and all of that fun stuff, which was one of the many reasons why we got into cigars in the first place. So
Oh, look, it's my 75-cent
grab
guillotine
my
cutter.
cutter.
Probably came free with cigars that I ordered.
It's funny because like
Way easier to cut.
I think back to when we first started doing cigar media.
Of course, it's
Like
going
I
back
had
to
barely
the
any
basics.
cigars to my name,
What
and,
else would I
and even
use?
fewer
And the dry
accessories.
draw,
I think like it took me a while to finally have
pleasant,
like a
so
lighter and a
sweet,
cutter.
and got a little bit
And
of that
the lighter was great. I remember the
chocolate.
cutter was crap because like a lot of the things in the beginning, I bought cheap.
Mhm.
Baking spice.
And
Not pepper spice.
as time has gone on, Tim and I
Very
both have
sweet
been struck
chocolatey,
by
a little bit of dry
various
fruit in there,
accessories, products, and
and
stuff like that.
Very
Oh, yeah.
easy draw.
It goes without saying
Like,
that we are beyond fortunate,
At the
Oh, yeah.
same time,
and
it also
extremely
reminds
grateful
me
that
when
we
first
get
tried
to
it,
do
and
this
it just-
still, and that people
it took
invest in us the way that they do.
without
In fact, that lighter I'm using right there is Amazon.
Nicholas was very
Tomolo, I think, is the brand. And Brian Shawshaw gave it to me because he was like, I'm never going to use it here. You take it. And so I did. And it worked fantastic until the seal.
I remember that lighter.
And the seal finally gave out.
I'm trying to.
I'd refill the butane and it would just slowly leak out within a couple days.
I'm trying to figure out what lighter I'm using.
I think you're using the Vertigo Cyclone.
Yes, I was borrowing yours
I
because again,
love that lighter.
I hardly had a lighter or anything to my name.
One of the most bulletproof, reliable lighters
This
ever.
is good as I remember it. Absolutely delicious. And
Delicioso.
Thank you.
once again, I'm reminded of, and not just of Nicholas and his passion, but the passion of so many other cigar manufacturers out there that we've come to know personally, not just through their cigars, but knowing the people behind them, who not only we have the pleasure of supporting, but who
This is honestly refreshing because
us as well. And it's
admittedly,
absolutely mind blowing.
as time has gone on, you can kind of become complacent in terms of like, because we're lucky enough to be able to get to try different brands. People will send us their product, like founders.
At
They
the end
were
of this video,
kind of
what we
generous
wanna do
enough to send us,
is we want to
two sampler packs
thank,
to enjoy as a sponsor for this video.
some people that have been instrumental in,
but admittedly,
I don't wanna say
sometimes
getting us here,
take
but
it
have
for
been
granted.
instrumental in
and you forget
joining
how
us
lucky
in
you
our
are. And this
journey
is
of
back
enjoying
when we were like
cigars and starting
brand new.
and
brand
helping
new cigar media people,
and fall
influencers,
in love
whatever you
with
wanna
the
call us,
industry
even though I hate
and
the word
boutique
influencer.
cigars.
They shared their passion.
People listen to what we say, so
They
there's
did.
influence with it.
It was
with cigars the way we
these
have.
were the
because
these were the golden
before,
days.
when
Not to
Tim
say
and I
that the
would get
days aren't
together
good
and
now,
focus
but
cigar, it was
times have changed and
once
things
in
have
a blue moon.
shifted. This was
Really, it didn't
pre-pandemic,
happen that
which is
often.
nuts to
We would
say.
get together and usually
Kind of that line of demarcation and stuff like that.
It's premium, but inexpensive.
Yeah,
it's cheaper.
it's pretty interesting looking back on all this and
sit out
where we are
on the
now,
patio
what we
and
get to
just
do.
light up.
Well, yeah, I
and
mean,
hang out,
the friendships that
nothing
we've
is
established, the
fancy. It's what
network,
we've got going on
independently
now
of
with this
ourselves,
wonderful
you for your
lounge
channel,
setup
me
at
for my
Cringetown.
channel, and, some of the experiences,
again,
going to trade shows, getting to know different brands, getting to, with founders, getting to be fortunate to be a part of when they were doing test blends, and just,
and still supported by a lot of the same people, as well as
other
new
people
brands.
still do. Yep. And so it's crazy because I remember when we were talking with Brandon, we were like, wait, you know this person, wait, you're repping this brand, wait, you're doing this, and he was like, yeah, I would have never thought that would happen because I've been around these guys for so long, and now I have people that ask me, and I'm sure you do as well, like, how do you know so and so, or wait, you know, and I'm not going to start name dropping because it doesn't matter. No, but you know this person, or wait, you know that brand, and being able to be personally invited down to cigar factories or to their house. If you ever come into this area of the country and you don't stay at my house, I'm going to hunt you down. So.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we hope you guys enjoyed that
trip down memory lane,
nostalgia trip as much as we did, and it was kind of strange, especially like thinking about some of the earlier stuff, things we talked about, how we spoke then as opposed to how we speak now.
Mm-hmm.
The corniness is still there. The dad jokes are still prevalent,
100%.
and the lame one-liners that we use and whatnot. So, but you guys know to expect that from both of us apart and both of us together. So
yep, it comes out a whole lot more when we're together, though.
It does.
It just organic.
Just because again, we joke about saying we've known each other for too long. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, when you know somebody that long, suffice it to say, I mean, we've known each other for a very long time.
Well over 2 decades.
A little over 2 decades, and we've been through a lot. We've, experienced a lot together, good and bad, all that kind of stuff. We've been there for a lot of the biggest life moments for each other and stuff like that. Birth of kids, married, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
which you recently had your anniversary this month.
We did 16 years. And but it's whenever we hang out, it's like no time has passed.
And hilarity will ensue.
Hilarity ensues, and we the eye rolls abound and all that kind of stuff. But I will say this, and I'm pretty sure I speak for Tim when I say it, just we're extremely grateful that, one, we can still hang out and, things are pretty much the same as they ever were.
Mm-hmm.
And two, that we get to do this and revisit the stuff we did together, talk about the things we're doing apart, during our own respective channels and whatnot. And that we pretty much both get to still do a lot of the same really cool stuff.
Yeah, and you know where we were when all of this started to where each of us are now, and I know we touched on it a few minutes ago, but it's crazy to look back and see that when you get connected within the cigar industry, where it can take you, and what can happen, and from brands that send us accessories or cigars or products or whatever it may be. At the end of the day, we do this because we love cigars. You know, and we said it all the time when we were on the channel together, you know, we love being a part of the community, and that hasn't changed because at its core, we enjoy cigars. All we do is share our journeys with you. Yeah. And I talk about that a lot on my channel, you know, when I sign off every time and say, enjoy your cigar journey. But that at the core of it is really why we put out the content we put out. Each have our own signature and our own flair and, you know, sort of DNA of it. But you know, looking back over the last 6+ years and seeing what we've been able to do, what we've been blessed to do, the people we've been blessed to get to know, people that we are blessed to call family, like the Cuevas family and many others. You know, it's one of those things that we don't take lightly, but it's also one of those things to look back and go, man, I remember looking at Brandon or looking at other people and going, how do they do that? Like, how does that happen? And now we, in our own respective ways, are able to do that with our own channels and with our networks and all. I mean, founders, you know, me being fortunate enough to know them literally since just after their inception, and Kyle going, hey, you know, I want to reach out to them and have them, you know, sponsor an episode. So why don't we do it with an episode where you're going to be in together? Yeah. And just have everything come together. It's just really cool to see where everybody is now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things that I've said this numerous times on my own channel. It's something I make a consistent effort to not take for granted because it literally could all go away tomorrow.
Yep.
I mean, and I said this in my previous video, last week's video. I mean, where I'm sitting right now, what I get to do, my own space and things like that. And it similarly for Tim, but just with a different caveat for me. I owe so much to cigars because if it weren't for my love of cigars and what I got to do just by producing cigar media and all of that kind of stuff, making the connections I've made, the networking, I would not have this studio. At least I don't think I would. At the very least, it led to the building of the studio so I could record cigar media. But additionally, where I'm sitting directly in front of me and Tim is...
Tim and I.
Tim.
You're welcome, Brandon.
Couldn't help yourself, could you?
Nope.
Is where I record my voiceovers. And sometimes I'll even just sit in this chair and do it because I got a nice little, you know, curtain made of blankets from Harbor Freight and stuff like that, which are the same kind of blankets we used when we were working in Tim's studio together.
Oh man, that was so ghetto.
It was ghetto, but it was effective and it worked.
We sounded really good for a lot of our videos and we got a lot of comments on it actually.
And I'm going to leave a link to one of my previous videos that I made a couple weeks ago, which was about if you're going to get started, you don't need to spend a fortune. You can have something as simple as just a little area in your garage or wherever you have it. You know, get some Harbor Freight blankets, get a simple, easy studio mic you can get off Amazon. You only have to spend like $40-50, things like that. You know, when we started, we had the cheap stuff that you could buy off Amazon.
We piecemealed it together.
So it's kind of crazy. But again, just circling back to what I was saying, if it weren't for getting involved in cigar media, I wouldn't have the space to record. I wouldn't be able to do voiceovers, which I've been able to do pretty consistently.
I wouldn't have Studio 2.0.
No, you would not. Because it's funny thinking about like Tim's studio that we would record in, and at first it was just an open, you know, a bar table that he built in his garage, and he made the backdrop and everything like that. And then eventually he built similarly to what we're sitting in actually, basically a box in his garage. Then they moved house and he built a studio in his backyard, basically a shed from the outside, but you walk inside and it's anything but. And
it's a man cave.
It is a man cave, and it's awesome to be able to do this and have a place to do it. And it's one of those things that when I stop and look, essentially stop smelling the roses, it's crazy that I get to do this, that Tim gets to do this, and a lot of our friends who get to do this. I think about Cigar Titans and all of our friends.
We won't say their government names.
No, but I don't think anybody really knows their government names. It's like, you know, they're their own, you know, special agents in the cigar community.
We'll call them Batman and Robin.
Exactly. It's crazy because a lot of us all got started around the same time. and we're all, doing different things to varying degrees of success and, privilege. But,
and we touched on it very early on in the video. You recently hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a grind. I mean, you've got to put out content. You've got to work it, even though
you got to stay relevant.
You're not making money doing this. If anybody says, "Oh, I'm getting into cigar reviews to make money," it doesn't start right away. And I've got some good friends that are making money off of it, that are doing it through sponsorships and different things, and that's fantastic. But you don't make a ton of money really at all doing this unless you have a live show or you're doing a weekly thing or whatever it is. But with different growth rates of our channels and people we know, at the end of the day, and I've said this since the beginning on my own channel, it's not about the number of subscribers or any of those different things. It's about enjoying what I get to put out. He enjoys what he gets to put out, and it's just a lot of fun. And regardless of where numbers are, at the end of the day, we're enjoying what we do. Whether we've got 5 subscribers or 5 million subscribers, we're lucky and we're blessed that people pay attention to what we do,
and continue to support us.
Absolutely.
Because it's one of those things where, like, within this particular niche community, you don't have to have millions of subscribers for brands to be willing to talk to you, reach out to you, and ask that you please test their product, try it out, review it, whatever, what have you.
You have to network, though.
You have to network. You have to be willing to reach out. And honestly, I know it sounds funny considering how long I've been doing this. That's only something I've really recently started to do as consistently as I have. You got to put yourself out there. You got to be willing to have the conversations and talk to people. Don't be afraid. The worst they can say is no.
And we get told no a lot.
Yeah. Or just not right now, or maybe sometime soon, or whatever the case is.
And now we get sent stuff. I mean, we both get stuff from Zyfe or Fankai or, Lytun or, all those umbrella of products, whether it's humidors. I mean, you've had King Chi, I've had King Chi, I've had Need One. We've had a number of different companies that reach out now. And it's not because any one of us that are putting out content are fantastic or amazing, but it's because we get to be the voice for brands and for companies. And at the end of the day, we're a marketing tool for them. And
it's a privilege. It really is a privilege.
And their cost of their products for that marketing dollar is inconsequential for what they end up getting in the return.
Just to kind of sum that up, like, if you're getting started in cigar media, if you want to reach out to brands, reach out. Start the conversation. Again, the worst they can say is no. But one of the beautiful things that we found in this community, including people in the industry who produce products for us to enjoy, is they're willing to have the conversation. They're willing to talk to you. They're very down-to-earth people for the majority. Very rarely will you meet a complete and utter asshole in this community. They're out there. They're out there, but it's very rare that we come across them, and they usually kind of, you know how to steer clear if you do encounter them. But just, first of all, do it for the joy and love of it all, and be consistent and have the conversations, talk with people, get to know them, find out their story, and they're willing to have that conversation with you, even if it's something as simple as like, hey, like when we reached out to founders and a couple other people I've been talking to lately, it's like, hey, would you be willing to sponsor this episode? Would you be willing to possibly send me product so that way I could talk about it, review it, highlight it, whatever? And they usually say, yeah, you know what, that sounds fine.
And it's not dry begging. It's not, send me, 150 cigars and I'll review one of them. It's nothing like that. It's building relationships. And, it's really cool to see that there are newer content creators that are out there, cigar reviewers, whatever you want to label us as, and being able to help new people. I never thought that would be something that I would do. And I remember being there. I remember when we were there, and we've built up, a platform with our own channels that, in our own unique ways, we get to help other people, whether it's brands, whether it's content creators, whatever it is. But it's not lost on either one of us that none of this would exist without all of you. And for anybody that's watched this channel since I was a part of it now, 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4+ years ago now, when we went our separate ways. Hopefully I'm a familiar face that you look and you go, oh, hey, Tim's there. Because
side note, real quick, it's funny because there's some people who have not kept up, and they'll like hit me up, what happened to Tim? I'm like,
Whoa.
You
We're at complete odds. We don't like each other anymore. We're doing this purely to
I hate
pretend that
this
it's
guy.
a publicity
He
stunt.
is the Ryan Reynolds to my Wesley Snipes.
There you go. Can't stand each other at all. But no, it's been cool to see just where we've come.
Yeah, exactly. Where we came from and where we are now, it's a blast. And regardless of how, upgraded our equipment is and how well our production value's gone up, honestly, at the end of the day, that matters little next to the fact that we still do this because we just freaking love it.
Oh, yeah.
Even if like our subscriber count grinds to a halt for anywhere from a few months to 2 years, which has happened. Honestly, I can't imagine not doing this. And maybe there will be a day where myself or Tim or both of us, where we do hang this up because of life circumstances or whatever the case may be. But until then, you can still expect the best possible content from both of us on our respective channels. And anytime, we hang out and do stuff together, as frequent or rare as it may be. The one thing that I know that I have, really focused on getting back to is getting reconnected with old friends in the community and making new friends as well. So honestly, again, I know I speak for Tim when I say this, wouldn't be where we are if we hadn't made that connection or all those connections, I should say. And gotten to do this, because it's still a blast. It's still a lot of fun. It can be seriously stressful, I'm not gonna lie. There are times I come out here and my brain is as blank as the walls of Tim's original studio.
Oh man,
white and blank and bland as it was then, and I'm sitting here smoking a cigar like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? But I still come up with something, even if it's a week or two before I put out a new video. You shouldn't expect either of us to hang it up anytime soon. So we hope you guys are looking forward to what we have coming. So
yes, and at the end of the day, we have fun. This was fun to reconnect on video. We've hung out and had cigars many times in between.
Attempt number 2.
Yeah, right. And at the end of everything, we do it because we enjoy it, like we've talked about. But thank you for asking me to come on your channel.
Thank you for being here, man.
Because it is your channel. It's your passion project. It's what you love doing. And I got to be a part of it for a while and help build a foundation. You've taken it from there.
And if you ever want me to come invade your studio and, ruin your private space, then I'll be there.
There's an open invitation anytime.
Of course. So, but we really hope you guys enjoyed this, the trip down memory lane, just us hanging out together. It's still like old times. It's still fun. It's still a blast. You know what? Honestly, I would love to do it again. And if there's any of you guys out there who are local and you want to hang out, let's figure out something. Maybe we could have an even more ridiculous episode than this. I shudder to think, but it's possible. So let's give it a try.
Well, if you'll allow me, I'll wrap up this video.
Absolutely.
The way that we used to wrap up all of our videos.
Absolutely.
And real quick, I'll just say, if you're not familiar with me or my channel, Kyle will put a link down below. Now you have to, because I said it.
Will I? Will I do that, Tim? That's awfully presumptuous.
It is, but I'll.
Of course.
I think you're good for it.
Yes.
But check out my channel. If it's something that interests you and you like the content, don't stop watching what Kyle does here, obviously.
Thank you.
But I'd love to have you come and check out what I do, what content I put out.
Definitely subscribe to Cigar Show, Tim. Please do.
I would appreciate it. But as we said at every single one of our videos, at the end, I'm going blank on it, but
you'll get it.
I know the last part of it, but I guess that was all of it. So I'll say what I do from mine. But as I say at the end of every single one of my videos, because I truly mean it.
Cigar Show 10.
Yes, but enjoy your cigar journey.
Yes.
For Kyle, I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, we'll see you.